Hi everybody! I'm gonna make a long, peaceful, relaxing video. And I want to talk about a lot of the experiences that I've been having between the human world and the spirit realm, and the alien world, and this conspiracy theory world, fear, sadness, joy, conquering, manifesting, all of this stuff. That's a lot of stuff happening over the course of several weeks and going through these sorts of shifts, but learning how to find a consistency with these shifts. That was why I made that video about how to conquer sadness. It's not just how to conquer sadness, it's how to find consistency, how to find balance in the energy shifting human ascension reality that we're living in. So December was a very difficult month for me, and I know it was hard for a lot of people. And we're going to have times where it's going to be hard, and we're going to have times where it's not going to be so hard. And how do we hold on to the not so hard times? We find consistency, right? We find consistency with bringing the joy in, knowing the only thing that is real is joy, asking myself, why do I feel sad right now? I don't need to feel sad. I'm going to let go of anything that was a relationship with sadness because I'm still tying myself to the past. And I want to live in a present where the only thing that is real is love, happiness, joy, which is now manifesting a future and then thus a past, working with simply love and happiness consistently. Great memories, difficult memories that are interesting and fun because I came here to be human, right? I came here to be human and deal with challenges, but those challenges can be interesting. I'm working with this stuff. I've been exploring a lot. I've been exploring miracles. That was one of the big things that came in December, was talking about miracles in my own realm. I remember one night I took a walk through the woods really late, dark, stars are out, the moon is out, you can't see anything. And I was talking to the universe about what if there is a secret to the human race? Something that nobody has been able to perceive of it as of yet. And perhaps evolution is to go beyond the perception that we've ever always known. But how will I ever find that perception if I can't see beyond where I'm at right now? This is all intertwined with a Rubik's Cube, okay? So my son got a Rubik's Cube for Christmas. And I found out that 99% of the human race will never be able to solve a Rubik's Cube. 99%. So don't feel bad about that. 99% of the human race will never be able to solve it. So what is that saying exactly? That's saying that a lot of us are never going to be able to think outside of the box, literally, because you have to think outside the box to solve a Rubik's Cube. I can't solve a Rubik's Cube. I'm one of the 99%. Surprise! I'm also like everybody else. But how do I become beyond that? I don't know. This is just this is the thought process. But you know, here I am, I'm a spiritual speaker, I do journeys, I'm exploring, sharing psychic experiences that are different than other people. And no two psychics are ever going to be the same because the way we translate energy and the meaning of that energy is our personal, divine, spiritual connection with that inspiration, right? And so for me, I'm already in a way a one percenter when it comes to what I do, when it comes to the sixth sense. Not every human being has figured out how to use their own sixth sense yet. So in a way, I have gone outside the box. I have solved my own Rubik's Cube when it comes to sixth sense stuff. But I haven't figured out whatever this concept is. What is this concept that can ascend the whole human race? What is this thing that we haven't figured out yet? And if I could figure this thing out and it could change my life, then I could bring everybody up to this level. And I was talking to the universe about this. All the while, Joe is talking to the universe about miracles and talking to me about miracles and Christmas miracles and what that means to him. And I didn't realize that what I was exploring was how do we ascend to a place of manifestation of miracles. And miracles don't actually exist, so to speak. It's basically that random moment that nobody could have conceived of, that blew everybody's freaking mind, and it could have only been a miracle, right? But perhaps miracles can be manifested. Perhaps anything can be manifested. I think a miracle would be on the level of, let's say I do energy work for you, and you want to change your hair color from blonde to red, and somehow overnight I manifested this for you. That's kind of miraculous. In the work that I do, how's it going to benefit you to change your hair from blonde to red? I mean, is that a self-love exploration here? Maybe you need to enjoy having blonde hair. I mean, I'm really getting in tune with what is the deeper aspects of what we're trying to accomplish here, and how do I get you in balance with self-love, with your soul journey, with emotions, with mind, with sexuality, with all this stuff. How do I get you grounded? So that concept to me of altering hair color, I don't really care about that. But on the level of miracles, that would be like, wow, a human being could change my hair color, eye color, could grow a sixth finger, So it's like, that would be miraculous. That would be something overnight that was just mind-blowing. How did that happen, overnight? But even on the level of a miracle to save the human race, maybe a miracle to save the human race. What is truly saving the human race? Saving us from ourselves, from our own learning? Seriously? We're seeing that, I'm seeing that we're all struggling in our own internal universes. And a lot of the times we don't know how to express that struggle. We don't know how to modify it. We don't know how to heal it. And we're walking around universes in chaos, billions of universes in chaos. But how do we stop holding on to the chaos, right? That's the manifesting energy. That's the conquering sadness energy. A lot of us don't realize how sad we are on a day-to-day basis, and we're just trying to be happy, right? We're trying to be happy. Stop trying, right? How do we stop trying to be happy so that we can just be happy? We have to do something. This whole concept here. Miracles, sadness, manifesting energy, facing fear. This is all a big old bundle, big old smorgasbord. I am blown away by how much I have shifted in such a short period of time. That's human ascension. That is, I can't even keep up with myself. I'm changing that freaking fast, And it's interesting because I don't really dabble in conspiracy theories, mainly because we already know it's a jacked up world. Why do we want to dip our faces into how jacked up it is so that we can put more and more and more and more of our time and energy into fear? What the fuck is going on out here? All that, let's put more of our energy into that, because that is essential. That's not going to solve the problems. That's not going to save the planet, to put more of our energy into fear-based stuff. It's awareness. But what is beyond awareness? Helping others. Because in the end, it's not we're the victims of some bigger picture thing. It's not that. It's that we have the choice to be victims, to be slaves, or to be empowered, right? So I had heard something about this Cern thing, and Cern is we're finding like the God particle. And when I hear this, I say, why do we need to why do we need to use science and logic to find a God particle? I am the God particle. You are the God particle. The flower is the God particle, the tree. And so human ascension to me is consciousness, is love, is infinite, is unpredictable, is not trying to solve something down to one minute understanding. So it's just one answer. The human race just wants one answer to every single thing. What if there's 1,000 answers? What if the God particle is infinite? What if it's an infinite thing, an infinite concept? And it never will be just one answer. What if that is the case? What if we are walking around God particles? So CERN to me is still working with old programming, old ways of thinking. Science solving using the mind, logic, hypothesis in order to create a tangible understanding, a physical understanding. But we're ascending to beyond the physical, we're ascending to the sixth sense, so to speak. We're ascending into the heart-based reality. We're ascending into a heaven-based realm. Does heaven use science to create an understanding of the God particle? So for me, I'm thinking about this, and should I be afraid? Should I be very, very afraid? No. if a part of the human race wants to explore that, then so be it. It's like a part of the human race wants to explore gender identities, and a part of the human race wants to explore drug abuse. So a part of the human race wants to explore all kinds of stuff. I want to explore human ascension. I want to explore myself as an emotional, fear-based consciousness, conquering fear. I want to understand the psychology of the human race. I want to understand what is beyond all of this stuff. So Cern somehow is interconnected with Wi-Fi and 5G. I guess we're going to 5G, and that's a very scary thing for people. You know what? I'm okay with that. At first, when I heard it, I was like, okay, should I be afraid of this? Should I? I do notice there's something weird about the world today. I do notice there's something weird about kids in the world today. Kids don't play outside anymore. Kids are really engaged with electronics, and that is the way forward for kids. Even kids are given tablets and such in school. My kids are using like tablets with little keyboards. And so they don't really know they don't really have to have like nice handwriting, because really they need to know how to type. And that makes sense because we're living in a technological world. So they're getting technology all the time. And technology is transforming us, right? We're becoming transformed by it. I don't know what that means for the future. I do know virtual reality I'm already doing virtual reality as a human being. When I do journeys, that is real virtual reality. I'm actually going into a spirit space, and I'm having real interactions all over the universe. Anywhere I want to go, I can go there. And I can experience myself there. I can actually experience myself there, and all I have to do is close my eyes, you know? That's all I have to do. That's all you have to do. That's all anybody has to do. So why do we need technology to take us into the concept of what we already have within ourselves? So it's just sort of leading us astray from who we truly are. But let's be real here. For thousands of years, nothing in the bigger picture, the bigger scheme has really changed. We're just changing the scope of the way things look, but truly there's a lot of the same stuff going on. Humans in bondage and suffering in different ways. And it's everywhere, and in different ways and different levels of society, okay? So even in what we would define as a first world country where we have access to everything, the most advanced technology, I'm not really impressed, to be honest. And because there's so much more we should have in this world today, we should have access to in a first world country. But yet a third world country, they're so spiritual. They're more connected to nature. They have more access to the raw human experience. But oftentimes they could be living in slums, living in the most impoverished conditions. And sometimes they live in nature, in tribes and such. I think they're far more advanced because they're working with heart. They're working with humanity. They're working with each other. They're working in communities. They're working with support on different levels. And we're separating ourselves from each other. And so this is just some perspective. It's just simply a discussion. So if Cern, for instance, if we're going from 4G to 5G, and that is going to continue to alter us, alter our behaviors, alter our relationship with spirituality. I mean, I'm already connected with the spirit realm. I don't need a specific diet. I can live with Wi-Fi, no problem. I don't feel hindered by anything because it's a choice. So anyway, I took the time to go on a journey to explore, Cern on a new level, okay? I just did a journey to the frequency or the concept of Cern, all right? And Albert Einstein actually showed up, believe it or not. Should I tell you the first part of the journey? Because it was really disturbing. Should I tell you the disturbing part, or should I tell you the Albert Einstein part? Because really the Albert Einstein part is the only part that matters. It's only a concept, okay? All this stuff is just concepts. In the end, you got to decide what it means to you. I've already decided what it means to me. I'm just going to keep being myself. I'm going to keep being happy. I'm going to keep choosing that, conquering sadness, manifestation energy. All right, so what I experienced was I saw a man sitting in a chair, And there was exploration of energy bodies using what could only be defined as technology, okay? So I can access your energy bodies right here, right now, at a distance, at remote, and I just go in to your conscious energy bodies, okay? And I don't have to touch you. I don't have to be near you. I don't even have to know what you look like. I just need a conscious intention for me to do energy work for you, and I find you through the conscious intention. That's simply it, okay? Because we're already connected. I already am you, you're me. So I'm already living exactly in your shoes as you're walking around. You're just that concept of God consciousness. So you just happen to be that part of God consciousness. But I'm also a part of God consciousness. So we're all God. God and goddess. We all are. Anyway, so this man I saw was hooked up, and something very painful was taking place. And because he was hooked up to technology that was connected to all of his energy bodies. Anyway, his physical body blew up, and they still had his soul attached to this stuff. And I was like, wow, that's really messed up. I don't know what to make of that. I mean, what if that's really happening to people right now, where they're like just test subjects? And then they're trying to access the soul. Actually, the God particle is actually the soul. And then what are they going to do with the soul? You know, what are they going to do with that? That's pretty freaky. You know what I mean? But if that's the case, you know, that's just simply it. That's the world that we live in. We came here for a reason. We wanted to know what it's like to be here. We wanted to be here. So why is everybody trying to run away? Let's own this thing. Let's be a part of this world, right? And that's part of this world. Cern is me, and Cern is you. Cern is God as well. Cern is a choice of our collectives. Our collective wants Cern. Otherwise, Cern wouldn't exist. Our collective wants Wi-Fi. Otherwise, Wi-Fi wouldn't exist. We all want this stuff. And I guarantee you're going to say, well, I don't want this stuff. I never signed up for this. I don't want poisoned water and poisoned air. Well, what are you doing about it? What am I doing about it? I'm trying to do something. I'm making videos. I'm healing people. I'm part of the process here. I'm part of the process of changing the world. And this is the best I can do right now with my gifts. And if I'm meant to do more than this, I'll do more than this. So Albert Einstein comes in, and he takes me up vibrationally. And he shows me, I'll tell you what, Albert Einstein is like an angel. He's wonderful. He's actually made me cry because he's just so wonderful. He's so wonderful. And I did not expect him to just come in as I'm looking at this whoa. And that felt really freaky and really disturbing on so many levels. And that's when Albert Einstein came in. So he takes me up vibrationally to higher consciousness, dimensional consciousness locations. Okay. So as a human being, I'm just going to explain what this means. So our consciousness is actually all over the place. It feels like it's in here, but it can go up to higher levels where we can access a variety of options, opportunities, answers. And when we get sad, our consciousness goes to denser locations and we shut out opportunities. We shut out our potential, okay? And then we just go into a dark place where we're kind of squeezing ourselves and trying to get smaller and smaller and smaller. And we become more compact and dense. And we're doing this all the time. We're projecting our consciousness all over the place to many different dimensions all the time. So where do you think the conspiracy theory dimension is? Because the conspiracy theory dimension exists. And that dimension is full of fear and anxiety and victimhood. You know, I feel like a victim. I'm in the conspiracy theory world. And what are we doing to change any of this stuff? Nobody. What are we doing here? You know. All right, so above this is love, all right, and acceptance and peace of everything. So after conspiracy theory, you start to go into self-realization, soul journey, love, Christ consciousness, okay? Christ consciousness is above conspiracy theory. Christ consciousness is above Cern. Christ consciousness is above 5G. Christ consciousness is above Wi-Fi. If you don't believe Christ consciousness has power here, then you don't believe in love, you believe in fear. You believe in a fear-based reality, you see? And you believe fear is more powerful than love. So therefore, fear will always be more powerful than love. That means conspiracy theory dimension is actually more powerful, more creative, has more manifesting power than Christ consciousness. And the only way to actually get to Christ consciousness is to go within yourself, to change by becoming a better person, towards yourself, towards your kids, towards everything in your life. And as you go within, you're going to find things, okay? So I want to talk about going within yourself, all right? And one of the going within myself things, this is a really, really important thing. Facing fear. What are you afraid of? All right. Are you afraid of being alone? So you would stay in an abusive relationship versus being alone. And abuse can be psychological abuse too. It can be psychological abuse, and you could be psychologically abusing yourself. It could be somebody else that is abusing you psychologically, and they don't even realize they're doing. You not really realizing you're doing it, but you've never been happy in this stinking relationship. But yet you won't let go of it. This is simply an example of self-exploration and what am I afraid of here? And who am I actually? You have to keep going deeper and deeper and deeper into yourself, because that's human ascension. How is this human race ever going to evolve if we don't want to get in touch with who we are? Know thyself. That's what Jesus says. Know thyself. Jesus is a wise emanation of the human spirit, of the human expression. So in my long span of feeling connected to an invisible world, that at times makes me a freaking nutcase, but it's actually the most normal thing you could possibly be. But the human race is afraid. The human race would label psychics to be nutcases, loony bins. But I guess if you're psychic, then that's kind of been a concept we've related to. But psychics experience information, all right? Experience information. And where does the information come from? It comes from feelings. It comes from feeling connected to inner messages, all right? And there's all different types of psychics. And sometimes, I mean, is it schizophrenia? Is it being psychic? I mean, there's different levels of what it could be. There's different biologies too. So I've had experiences psychically communicating with alien beings. I don't have any physical experiences with alien beings. If I've ever had a physical experience with an alien being, it's been totally wiped out of my mind. What does that matter? If I've had physical experiences with alien beings and they've wiped those memories out of my mind, does that matter? I'm not meant to know. And I'm okay with that. All right? I'm okay with that. The thing is balance. All right? Balance. And accepting of myself as a human being, as a not all-knowing being. And I came here to not know everything. I simply came here so I could know what it is like to deal with these challenges of emotion, thought, fear, instinct, love. What is love, actually? That is a complicated exploration for a human being, and you'll be exploring it your entire life. Love of self, love of others, relationships. You're going to have to cut some relationships off because you love yourself enough and you love them enough. Even if it doesn't make sense to them, maybe you just need to do this for yourself. Love is a very strange thing, and it's the God particle. It's not a tangible thing. It's a life thing. It takes a whole lifetime to understand love, and you still never understand it. That's why you keep living more lives. So what I've been exploring here recently with fear, I've had a lot of experience with alien beings, okay? Alien beings that were really amazing. Alien beings that felt really gross. And I learned that I have the power to transform the conscious experience of alien beings through love. Alien beings that feel really vibrationally like an anxiety attack, like I'm going to vomit because they feel that gross. If I can stand there, continue to get brighter and share love, they either get the heck away or they stick around and receive it and are blown away by it. How many human beings could stand in front of a sick vibrational frequency and just shine light into it until it transforms and becomes more aware? Somehow over years and years, I have something I can't make sense of, okay, inside myself, and it's hatred, all right? I hate alien beings. This would be the only way I could define it. a concept inside myself, a pocket inside myself, but I don't know why that could be, because I don't hate alien beings. I've had amazing friendships with alien beings that have changed my life and my perspective of things and helped me to love myself more. And so why do I have this inside myself? So in the process of exploring miracles, of exploring manifestation energy, which is more than just conquering sadness, it's manifesting wealth, manifesting joy, manifesting anything. It's the same thing. I'm learning about it right now, and it's blowing my freaking mind. All right. On top of that, this Cern stuff and 5G and the chemtrails, and I mean, this is the world that we live in, but we can make it a different world if we want to. So all the while, this hatred of alien beings is there, and I'm trying to have a self-realization, and there was a strange opportunity to explore alien beings and to make a choice if I would face this hatred, which is also a fear, or if I would just continue to keep moving, because I don't really need, I don't know, do I really need to work on this? Yeah, I do. And so I was shocked by what came through. I did a journey, and I was quite scared to do it because of the feeling inside myself. And it was to an alien spaceship, all right? And this alien spaceship could be full of really evil, just sick and twisted stuff, or it could be full of loving alien beings. Interestingly enough, it wasn't necessarily to know what was within that alien spaceship. It was to know what was within myself. But I had to be tested, and I had to face that fear, and I had to face it with love, because anything that I hate within myself, I have to face that with love, and it's going to feel like an anxiety, and it's going to feel like a fear, because I'm afraid of some part of myself, and that's an alien part of myself. I also have loads of past lives where I've been experimented on in really disturbing ways and died from it, and I'm carrying that luggage in this lifetime, and I don't want those anxieties anymore, because I can't control what happens. You know, if I'm meant to have that experience, I'm meant to learn about the emotional concepts of that experience itself, and if I die from it, that's what it's meant to be. Okay, so that it's acceptance. All right, it's Christ consciousness. How do you access Christ consciousness? It takes work. Okay. Do you want to work on yourself? Do you want to get to a level of Christ consciousness? That's a choice. So basically, I was on a pathway, and I was looking at alien beings, and all right. So I had a past life where, at a very young age, what would be like 4 years old, I was manipulated to believe these alien beings were my parents, my true family. And I found that they would come to visit me, and I felt a warm and loving connection with them. But as I got older, I was starting to get like kind of sucked dry emotionally and mentally, physically, sexually. I was like dying and withering within myself, and I was confused. And I knew that I was going to be dead by the time I was 17 years old, and it was all this whole thing. But they're my family, you know? And so I was going to continue to give and give of myself until I died from it. And I went into that life, and I said, why would you? I said, no. I went to that past lifetime and talked to that part of my consciousness, which is still there. I know it's time. I don't want to try to explain every single detail of all this, but you can go back to past lives and talk to your past life selves, and part of that consciousness will always be in every single time and place, and every single concept of all the possibilities of what you could experience in a single lifetime. It's an infinite universe. And so I went to that part of myself, and I said, no, you need to say no to those alien beings, or you're going to die. And that part of myself said, I don't want to say no to them. I love them. They're my family. I said, does family suck the living daylights out of you until you're dead? Is that what love is to you? And this part of me said, I'm too tired. I don't want to stand up against this. I'm too tired. I'd rather die from it. And they said, no, I wouldn't rather die, and I'm you. I need you to get some inner strength, and I need you to say no to them. And the original lifetime I did, and I died from it. I'm going back and I'm altering the meaning of that lifetime. And after I chose to say no to them, there's something of their cultural nature or their instinctive nature. They work with manipulation to the point where you're always going to say yes to them without realizing that they're really killing you, until you choose to face them and say no. And once you say no to them, they have no choice but to completely disconnect and move on without any emotional attachment or anything like that. And oddly enough, they respect you. When you say no to them, they respect you. But they won't. But they'll always suck you dry, so to speak. I don't know how else to explain this. But when I said no, there was something really important to me choosing to say no to manipulation, to what the perception of manipulated love is, to stand up for myself, to care about my own life. So after I altered that timeline, I went into another message. And it was about, I mean, this is so complex, and it's kind of like hazy for me now, because there's like really important points that stuck with me. So I'm trying to remember the specific. I'll just tell you this. What I found was a doorway, and on the other side of this doorway would be what we would perceive as loving alien beings. And I said, okay, I'm ready to connect with loving alien beings. And there was other layers to this before I got to this point, but it's kind of foggy right now. So anyway, I went into this doorway and I found that the loving alien being was myself. That I was the loving alien being. And I found myself standing at a podium speaking very lovingly to so many other alien beings from so many different races. And they were all loving and all kind. And I started to realize that if I'm a loving alien being, and we live in a world full of me's basically humans, then we're all alien beings. And we could either be loving alien beings, or we could be not loving alien beings. And so the concept too is that those visitors are going to be not loving and loving. So not all alien beings are going to be mischievous or demonic or wow, twisted or whatever, working with chaos. And some are going to be working with love, because some of us here are working with love and some of us here are not working with love. This stuck with me big time. And I was shown how in other lifetimes I was an alien being that came to planets of basically where people were dying of radiation or climactic changes, or the planet was dying, or then I came to help other races of beings that were not able to help themselves, whether it was through healing or through bringing spaceships to help move them to other planets. I've done this in other lifetimes. Now I'm one of the beings on the planets where we need the alien beings to help us. Well, why aren't they helping us? They are helping us. They're helping us in other dimensional ways, and we don't know all the ways that they're here to help us. But we have to start working within ourselves in order to change society, because society is still kind of the same society as it was a long time ago. And I was shown that there's this phenomenon, an imprint, soul imprint, called the I am a victim to an alien race. And the alien race is controlling society, and there's nothing I can do about it. I'm basically an animal in a farm, and I'm being farmed. And therefore, if I feel this way, then I'm stuck, right? Then I'm basically fucked, you know? Well, that's not true. They showed me that even the slaves of Egypt could have stood up against the all-powerful, the leaders of that time. And that we as human beings can stand up against the all-powerful governments of this time. And we could say no to chemtrails. We could say no to Cern. We could say no to this. Why aren't we saying no to this? If so many people feel uncomfortable about it, why aren't we saying no to it? And maybe we are saying no to it, but there's just not enough media attention. The world is changing because we're changing in here. And the more that we choose to face our fears and realize our power, is the more the world's going to change. So the final message of this journey was that alien beings are people too. And they're people that either understand love or they don't understand love, or they're learning about love, or they're learning about enslaving other races or helping other races. They're people too on a learning journey. I'm a person on a learning journey. I'm an alien being on a learning journey. I just happen to be on this planet. But I'm an alien being too. You're an alien being too. And I came here to heal people. I came here to heal the alien beings. I'm an alien being that came here to heal the other alien beings, just like I have in other lifetimes. So what are you exactly? Are you a loving alien being that came here to help all the other alien beings? I mean, it's just a perception shift, but it changes the way you think about things. It's important. It's really important. What do you make of this? What does this mean to you? So I'm going to pause for a moment. I want to see if there's anything else I want to tell you about. I feel like that's all I wanted to say. I just simply wanted to share perspective on the meaning of the energy shifts over the last 3 to 4 weeks, let's say, and how quickly I've shifted and changed, and the importance and value of facing our inner fears. I no longer feel I hate alien beings. In fact, I feel that was a part of myself that I was hating myself. And myself as all alien beings, because I couldn't get in, access that, and I was afraid to see that part of myself. And it was really just coming from other lifetimes where I died in confusion. I mean, it's coming from a lot of things, but I'm not able to clear it until I can face it, all right? And to face it is scary sometimes. But once you can face it, there's empowerment on the other side. We have to work on ourselves. That's the first step here to the miracle of the human race moving beyond this. We have to want to. We have to care about our purpose here. We have to be embracing our purpose here. We have to be exploring who am I and how do I want to grow beyond this. We have to explore the conspiracy theory dimension versus the Christ consciousness dimension. And we got to explore, do we want Christ conscious dimension? Is that too hard for you? Well, why not? You know, in one lifetime, I let the alien being suck the life out of me because I wasn't willing to say no. So we got to find strength. We got to find the strength to stand up for ourselves and realize this life is worth living. All right, that's all I'm going to share. Thank you for exploring this message with me. If any of you are interested in exploring a psychic session, please visit me at my website at abbeynormalswisdomquest.com. All right, I hope you all have a great day. Thank you for watching.